A special presentation from the KTVB Newsroom. Bronco Roundup Game Day starts now.
Notre Dame's a team that you watch consistently year in and year out.
Rudy Allen in to make the first hit for the Fighting Irish.
The fake, the throw, the touchdown. Notre Dame will duly celebrate a national championship. No doubt the Irish are number one.
One of those games I'll be able to tell my kids about forever, playing in that stadium.
Doesn't need to be perfect. I don't need anybody, all right, we're playing Notre Dame, I got to go be Superman. But I do need your best.
Both of these teams, really, to keep their chances alive, have to win this game Saturday.
Love heading for the end zone. Touchdown, Notre Dame. Riley breaks three. He'll go again. Touchdown number 5 on the night, and that could seal it.
After months of anticipation, the moment has finally arrived. Welcome into South Bend, Indiana. Jordan Smith alongside Austin Parr. We've got ourselves a heck of a game ahead of us, less than an hour away from kickoff, and you can feel the excitement starting to brew.
Hey, look behind us here. There's a lot of green, yes, but there is a lot of blue. Bronco Nation circled this one on their calendars when it was put on the schedule more than a year ago, hoping for a big-time upset against number 21 Notre Dame later on today.
These Bronco fans, they travel so well, and it is showing here tonight. The amount of people walking up to us saying, "Go Broncos," I feel like we're going to see a great section of blue inside historic Notre Dame Stadium.
Yeah, and the biggest thing, too, is both these teams are still trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. Bronco Nation knows that if they were to want to go to possibly the college football playoff, they've got to win this game. That's just the basis of it after losing to USF. And if they do win this game, how monumental would that be for that program, that city back at home, Boise, Idaho, to upset Notre Dame in the house that Rockne built.
Rockne built. It's been rolling off my tongue all week. I can't stop saying it. But, I mean, you mentioned it. This is a monumental game for both sides. What makes this interesting, two teams that made the college football playoff last year squaring off here in just under an hour. Boise State, of course, we remember that Fiesta Bowl run. The Broncos making themselves heard here ahead of kickoff. We remember Ashton Jeanty leading them into Arizona, and the Broncos putting up a heck of a fight. That final score not reflective of the entire game there. The Broncos coming up short against Penn State, but they got a taste of it, Austin. They're hungry for more, but it's an uphill battle after losing that first game against USF. But Notre Dame, they lost the first 2 games of the season. It's the same situation for them after their national championship run last year.
Yeah, absolutely. Notre Dame, of course, we can't forget about their national championship run. The Irish fought off Indiana, Georgia, and Penn State on their way to the national championship game, where they came up just 11 points shy against the Ohio State Buckeyes. But it was a signature few weeks for this man, Mr. Jeremiah Love, number 4, the heartbeat of the Notre Dame offense. He finished that season with over 1,100 yards and 17 touchdowns. One of the best running backs in the entire nation. The Broncos defense has to be keyed in on number 4 today.
Absolutely. And Jeremiah Dickey, the man who scheduled this, he saw number 4 and said, you know what, we should schedule these guys against Notre Dame.
He has a good name.
He has a great name.
Come on.
Well, I got to ask you, the moment it's finally here, this is a game that's been on Broncos calendars forever. What is this like for you, the man who scheduled this, to finally be here in South Bend?
There's the fan piece for me, growing up, loving college athletics and being at a place like this. I mean, the history, tradition, that hits you differently, right? But then there's the Bronco piece, and we're a national brand. And to be here and to have Bronco Nation show up the way they've done is amazing. I've heard from a number of people that flew into Chicago, and all the rental agencies and hotels are like, we've never seen a visiting team travel like this. And that's a testament to Bronco Nation. That makes me really proud to be a Bronco.
It's just so incredible how much of a sea of blue. You can look out right now. Yes, there's a lot of green. Obviously, everybody will be wearing a lot of green. But there's really a great amount of blue. I know you've said it so many times, but just to kind of say it again, how much does it mean for Bronco Nation to be here, showing out like they do, as we call them, the best fans in America?
Yeah, it means everything. I mean, this is something that, one, I inherited a foundation of success, right? And my job is to continue to build it. And when you look at what we've done over the last, coming up on 5 years, I mean, we're selling out soccer matches. We're selling out 11 straight football games. We're selling out season tickets in basketball. We're selling out our allotment at the Fiesta Bowl. We're selling out our allotment at Notre Dame. And the amount of fans that travel and support this team, we are it's in some ways an international brand, but we are a national brand. And that means something. And that's something that ties into everything we do, from telling our story to the strategy behind how we monetize our operations, how we're funding this department, and how we are going to continue to move forward and go do epic.
And I know that every Bronco fan, they're hoping to come out of here with a win. But regardless, this is such a special moment for Bronco Nation, for everybody attending and this team. So I want to ask you, just as a person, when you're trying to schedule this a couple years back, what did that conversation look like to get that going? And then, of course, what did that feel like when you finally got the green light to come here to South Bend?
So one, relationships are important to me. One of their deputy ADs, Ron Powell, played in the mid-90s, if you remember him, good quarterback. Him and I worked together at the University of Akron. Long story short, I was calling around seeing how do I get an international game. And I know Notre Dame, they'll play in Ireland and whatever. And that's where it started. And it led to, they're not going to do that yet. I mean, I'm not saying forever, but right now they don't have any openings. But they do have an opening, supposedly, Jeremiah. Call Ron, do you know him? And I did, and so I called him, and it took about 30 minutes. We caught up, and I said, you have an opening? He said, yes. You want to play? I said, yes. And we negotiated very quickly. He said, I usually do this. I said, I usually ask for this. I said, let's meet in the middle. He said, sounds good, and we called it a day. It was amazing, and, once again, when a game like that comes up, I always talk to Spencer. And both him and I said the exact same thing. We were thinking the exact same thing with our brand, what we're trying to do. It made a difference it makes a difference to be able to play someone like Notre Dame. And that excites me, and to be able to provide an experience for our fans and how they travel, that's what it means to be a part of this family and being a Bronco.
Speaking of the brand, obviously being here is such a big deal. How would you kind of describe, if there was to be maybe an upset or a victory, or what that would mean, not only the program, the university, building the brand, but also just the state of Idaho, the city of Boise? What would that mean?
I hate losing. And, I hate losing more than I like winning. I don't believe anytime we beat someone that it is an upset. I believe going into every game that we are going to win. And I believe every year we are going to the CFP, and that's my mentality, and it's always want to know what's next. And so whatever happens in this game, we can't control outcomes. Winning is hard. But we have prepared for this moment. I know our guys are going to go out and give 100% effort, and that's what excites me. We are going to compete. We will represent, and it's 1-0.
Is this possibly a future helmet, maybe, right here? Because
this is my favorite pullover. I'm not, they gave it to the staff, so I got one. And, but no, maybe, who knows? I'll never say never.
Well, because we saw the throwback retro logo the last time App State played Boise State, on the blue, and I thought maybe they'd bring that back. That's a pretty cool logo.
I'm telling you, our team is elite, and they continue to think through ideas like that, and just like the painted helmets last week and what that did for us, and the revenue that's going to come in from it is awesome. But how can we do that for every sport, and how do we incorporate different logos, and maybe ones we haven't used in a while? So it excites me to see what's next.
Best AD in the country right here, Jeremiah Dickey. We love you.
He is the man. He is the man.
That has got to feel good as the AD of a school, right? Well, I know that you've got to get going. I want to give you the last word here. Your final thoughts as you're just taking in the scene here from South Bend.
Hey, this is, one, I want to thank Bronco Nation. We've sold out New Mexico. That's a testament, once again, to what we've talked about. Two, it's 1-0. Come, they're here early, be loud, and it's always go Broncos. I'm so excited for this moment, and pressure is a privilege. We say that a lot. Pressure is a privilege, and we're ready for this kickoff. Go Broncos.
Pressure makes diamonds, and hopefully diamonds are made this afternoon.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you guys
always
for being here.
Thank you so much.
Great to see you. Thanks so much. Have fun.
Hey, by the way, if you guys were wondering during that interview, you saw maybe a new pin we got on the jackets here. we decided to grab ourselves a little matchup pin because this is such an iconic venue. This is an iconic matchup, and hopefully we get an iconic upset today.
Well, it's going to take a team effort, not to sound cliche, but it is going to take everybody, and it starts with the man under center. The good news for Broncos fans, Maddox Madsen has been red hot since week 1's loss in South Florida. That man can't be stopped, Austin. We were looking through the tape this year. He is on fire.
Hey, he's only a junior.
We got him for a little bit longer.
Boise State fans, Bronco Nation, he is only a junior. He's thrown for 904 yards and 9 touchdowns. He's fresh off a career night against App State. He completed 25 of 37 passes for 321 yards and 4 touchdowns.
A career high for him.
Absolutely electric. He's one of the reasons why this Broncos offense is humming.
Absolutely, and that's what we've noticed lately too. It seemed like that week 1 loss, a lot of people were coming for his job. They were saying he may not be ready. We've seen that confidence surge in the past couple of weeks. They took the bye week. He got his mind right, it seemed like, and now when he's in the pocket, he's cool as a cucumber. He's using his legs, as you're seeing. He's leading this offense. He's making smart decisions, and that's what they have to do, especially in big-time games against Notre Dame.
He also makes smart decisions when we don't really talk about this aspect. He finds so many different wide receivers. He doesn't try to force the football to Chris Marshall or force it to Latrell Caples or force it to Matt Lauder. He finds everybody. If you're open, Mad Dog will find you, and he's been absolutely super accurate to start the season. One of the reasons why this offense has been firing on all cylinders in the final 3 games.
Yeah. And Maddox, tell you what, he's looking pretty sharp, and we want to take a closer look at the numbers here. I know you poked into those stats. Take a look at the last couple of weeks, for Maddox.
For all the questions Bronco Nation had about Maddox Madsen under center, he continues to deliver answers. The redshirt junior has Boise State rolling, and he's 16-3 as a starter in his career. The numbers, they speak for themselves. Madsen is the first Bronco to throw for 275 or more yards in 3 straight games since Brett Rippon in 2018. The first since Kellen Moore to post a quarterback efficiency rating above 175 3 games in a row. He's now second in the Mountain West in passing yards per game, and right now, one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the entire country.
I think Maddox Madsen is one of the best quarterbacks in the country. I mean, I've said that for a long time, and I think people believe that. If they don't, I tell them, please watch the film. Maddox Madsen is an elite quarterback and makes the right decision with the ball, can make all the throws. We put a ton on Maddox, from run game, pass game, checks. It's all on Maddox's shoulders, and he never flinches. Comes to work every day with a smile on his face, ready to get better, and that's the heartbeat of our team.
Coach Danielson says it's more than just the numbers. It's the way that Madsen runs the huddle and the confidence he brings to the offense. That confidence is contagious. His teammates have pointed out how steady, calm, and relentless he is, the kind of leader you want in a big moment.
A big thing with him is those details, is those little things, is those plays that he probably could have made that he's thinking about. It's continuing to get better. Are your eyes in the right place? Are you making good decisions? Are you taking care of the football for the offense? And when you're doing those things, you know, the numbers are going to come with it.
This weekend will be his biggest moment yet, a road test against 21st ranked Notre Dame on NBC's national stage. If Boise State has any shot at upsetting the Irish, they'll need Madsen at his very best.
One of those games I'll be able to tell my kids about forever, playing in that stadium. It's super cool to kind of be at that moment now. I mean, we just kind of talked about it. Everyone's talked about it for the last year since it's been put on the schedule. So being able to start preparing and go down there and be with the guys, have a good time, enjoy football is really exciting.
Maddox Madsen has proved himself time and time again. Now, he's got the chance to prove it to the whole country.
Well, as Broncos fans are starting to file into Notre Dame Stadium, there's a pretty big watch party unfolding back home at the Blue, and that's where we find our Brenda Rodriguez. Brenda, what's it looking like out there?
Hey, it might be chilly out here, but this stadium right out here, it is warming up because everyone is starting to fill the place. The watch party is happening here soon. People starting to come in, but I want to introduce you to our friend here, Lily. Lily, what are you doing out here?
We're playing bags.
Yeah, okay, bags. So you call it bags?
Yeah.
Not cornhole.
It's both.
It's both? All right. What are you doing out here in general? Are you excited for the game?
I'm very excited.
Yes. Who did you bring out here with you?
My family, my little sister, and my mom.
How big of a fan are you?
I'm so big.
Okay, do you have a message for the Broncos?
Go Broncos.
There you go. That's a pretty clear message. Hey, I told you it was a little chilly out here. People are bringing their blankets, rightfully so, but the big screen right here, this is where it's going to be shown. But I want to introduce you to our friend here with Boise State. Mike, thank you so much for joining us. Still time to come out here. What should we know for people that are preparing to make it out here?
Yeah, only a nationally televised game against Notre Dame today, 1:30 Mountain Time. So, yeah, we've invited all of Boise State out and Bronco Nation out to come check out the game. We've had over 1,500 RSVPs, so we're expecting a really big crowd.
This is actually the first time this is put on. Why was something like this important to do, especially for a game like this?
Yeah, like as you've probably seen all over on social media, we've had a ton of Bronco Nation go out to Notre Dame to watch this game, and so we figured if you couldn't make it to the game, why not come on the blue and watch it here?
There's some games already set up here. What other activities can people find?
Yeah, so the game is the main attraction. We have cornhole/bags, depending on how you call it. We will have restrooms open. We will have concessions on or open. So yeah, come on out, watch the game, and cheer on the Broncos.
I know, pretty big game that we're expecting today, but also homecoming is coming up. What can you tell us there?
Yeah, so next week is also another big game. We think all of our games are big games. And so, yeah, homecoming next week. We have a 7:45 p.m. kickoff against New Mexico. So it's going to be our throwback game. So wear your blue throwbacks because this place is going to be packed with 33,000 of your friends.
Really quickly, though, going back to the watch party, food available? Can people bring their food? What can people expect in that end?
Yeah, you can't bring food or drink onto the blue, but we do have our stands open, so the west side will be open, so you can eat your food and drink water up there. But yeah, no, we want really people just to get onto the blue and watch Notre Dame or not, watch the Broncos and Notre Dame game.
What about parking? I know people are going to be asking us.
Yeah, that's a good question too. Parking is free, so yeah, go ahead. You can park all around the stadium, so that'll be available as well.
All right, are you ready to play?
I'm ready to play.
Okay, here we go. Excuse me, because this is not really my sport, but I'm going to do my best. Okay, ready? Okay, there you go. That's just setting the tone for tonight, okay? We're going to toss it back to you guys for now.
That looks like a lot of fun, and honestly, like...
Listen, Brenda. Looking a little bit like Maddox Madsen right there.
Kind of a tight spiral there, right? Like, not bad, Brenda, at all.
Well done, Brenda.
And that's the thing, is if you can't watch the game from South Bend, what better way than to watch it on the blue, right?
The best stadium in America, right?
That's what some people say, not these Irish fans here. But last time the blue was in action, Boise State played host to Appalachian State, and in today's Bronco Rewind, let's take you back through that explosive offensive firework of a football game. It was a whiteout at Bronco Stadium. Those fans, they were loud that night, Austin.
Yeah, 100%. Broncos rocking, of course, the front porch of Idaho helmets and the all-blue jerseys. They came out on fire. Maddox Madsen found the Latrell Caples for a quick touchdown. That was the exact start that you wanted if you were a Bronco Nation fan. Turn around. You thought about what was that high-powered App State offense going to do? We talked about their passing game and how good they were, ranked 6th nationally. All those stats led up to a second possession pick six.
Absolutely. And tell you what, I'm just getting word we got the highlights ready to rock, actually, so sorry about the technical difficulties. Let's just show you how it happened instead of just listening to us describe it like it's radio. Let's pull those up, Carson. There it is. It's the watch party from the blue. It was a whiteout. We mentioned it, and there's that touchdown to Latrell Caples. Madsen just on fire. We mentioned it. And then a pick six on defense. It's a defense that's been starving for turnovers, and they jumped the route ready to put 6 on the board there, Austin.
Following that, Tom Scott talked about it earlier. Maddox Madsen threw an absolute rocket. He found Ben Ford on a little post route over the middle. Perfect read by him on the defense. Easy touchdown for the Broncos, 21-7. at halftime, and they pretty much rolled from there.
Absolutely. Another big night from Maddox Madsen. The man was just unstoppable. We talked about it, 300-plus yards through the air, and he'd find another connection to Quentin Brown for his first career touchdown.
Might be one of the best catches I've seen in a long time.
And tell you what, they say put the body on the line. Quentin really did. He broke his nose making that unbelievable catch. He goes airborne, lays out for it, but he gets up, he tells the crowd, don't worry guys, I got this.
Held on to the football, the most important thing.
Absolutely.
Held on to the football.
And Spencer Danielson said he may never buy another dinner in Boise again after that catch. And then Bowen Phelps wraps us up with a pick six there. The Broncos roll past App State, 47-14 on the blue. And it really speaks to that question of the secondary. How many yards did they hold App State to? I want to say it was barely more than 60, Austin.
65 total yards passing.
That is
and don't forget about the best, most impressive stat, 2 yards in the second half. 2 yards.
2 yards. It doesn't matter who you're playing against. That's an unbelievable statistic to put up, especially for a secondary.
If you put us out there, we might be able to get 2 yards, right?
Yeah.
You line up in wide out, I'll play quarterback, and I'll find you.
You know what? We should email that to App State, see if they'll let us try out for a walk-on. That might be kind of fun. But
you still have eligibility remaining.
That's right. 4 years. They'll want some aging news reporters for sure. But that's the thing about this Broncos team is that secondary was razor sharp. By the numbers, this offense is on fire. Nearly 500 yards of offense in 3 consecutive games.
Just in one of the main reasons we already talked about, Maddox Madsen. I mean, he has been absolutely on fire. The biggest thing with Maddox is the efficiency. His QBR and his efficiency rating is one of the tops in the country, alongside C.J. Carr, the quarterback of Notre Dame. But the reason why this offense is so successful starts with number 4, Mad Dog.
Yeah, absolutely. He's calm, cool, collected in the pocket. He doesn't get rattled. And we saw him. He's starting to use his legs a little bit more. People forget, and a lot of it was because of the injuries that kind of took a toll on the Broncos last year. But Maddox was second in rushing yards for the Boise State offense behind Ashton Genty last year. So it's great to see him using his legs again. He's a little smaller, so we're glad to see him sliding as well out there.
Yeah, Danielson also said, remember a couple weeks ago, he said, championship teams and championship players know how to respond to adversity. And when he got hurt at Air Force, did not faze him at all. He came right back into the game, led them on a big-time drive, led them on a big-time win at one of the toughest places that it seems for them to go play at in Colorado Springs.
And we give a lot of credit to this offense. That defense, rock solid. I know it was against App State. I know that that's not the most elite school in the country, but that's a passing attack that is very dangerous.
The numbers were there. I know Danielson likes to say stats are for losers, but hey, the stats were there that App State had a high-powered passing attack.
Absolutely. And so for them to shut it down, it was fantastic. And unfortunately, the Broncos did lose kind of an integral part of their secondary in Jaden Mickey. He went down with kind of a very serious injury in the second half off a kickoff. He collided with his own player. He had to be stretchered off the field. It was a very serious moment to the point where they stopped the game for about 10 to 15 minutes as he was stretchered off. Fortunately, we found out later he went to the hospital. He was able to check out that night. He was under the advisement of a lot of the Boise State medical staff and has been working closely with doctors all week in concussion protocol. But Coach Danielson says it's just a game. His health comes first. It's unclear if he'll suit up, but safety is paramount.
I was very open with him, like, I understand what this game is to you, being an alum of Notre Dame, the respect you have for that team and those players, those coaches. But we are always going to put the health of our players first. So I said, anything feels off, I need you to tell our trainers. And in how protocols work, if at any point in this something's off, he's out. And that's just because the timing is going to be right up to the game. So if any moment later today, he feels like he's not playing. And so we're going to walk that path.
And Jaden Mickey, just again, another integral part. He's a Notre Dame transfer. This was a game that he was really looking forward to as well. So it's unclear at this point if he'll be able to suit up. We hope to see him in a Bronco uniform, but of course, we don't want to rush that recovery.
It's been an unbelievable story for him as well. You're talking about a guy that continues to grow and grow and grow and work extra hard to get his playing time. He puts in the effort to get the time on special teams, makes some really good plays, gets out there, makes a couple of big-time plays early on defense for this Broncos defense, and then has this unfortunate setback. But when we talked to Danielson on Monday, he told us that the good news is is that Mickey was already back at the facility. He was already running the bike, or doing steps on the bike, and he was already watching film in preparation for maybe playing this football game. You just hope he can get out here, considering the history, considering he's from here.
Yeah.
Just an incredible story and an unfortunate event.
He's got a Warriors heart, and he is very loyal to this team, so we'll see. We're keeping an update. I just put a text out to see the latest on the injury report. We'll keep you updated here in the next couple of minutes. Meantime, let's take a look at the threads Boise State will be rocking. It's going to be a green out in Notre Dame Stadium.
A green
of that Irish green, the green jersey, the green pants, pretty much what all of these fans are wearing around us as they're walking into the stadium.
And here's the thing. I'm going to say this throughout the show. I said it earlier. Really proud of how Bronco Nation has come out. We have a Bronco fan right here with us, but the sea of blue along with the sea of green is absolutely incredible. Bronco Nation has been absolutely killing it.
Absolutely.
They're going to be rocking the icy whites. You know why? Because they won on the road at Air Force when they wore those uniforms. And if you're superstitious like me, then you want to wear the uniforms again when you're trying to get in another iconic victory and an iconic stadium in the house that Rockne built.
And I just want to we had a fan just stop by really quick. What was your name?
Jennifer.
Jennifer, you're rocking a pretty cool shirt right here.
That is
House
a sweet
divided.
shirt.
Half Notre Dame, half Boise State. So what's the
Turn
story?
towards the camera so we could see that.
What's the story there behind the shirt?
My son, back after Peterson had coached Boise, was supposed to play for Boise State. And then when I moved out to St. Louis 15 years ago, you can't not help but become a Notre Dame fan. So it was very nice that Notre Dame invited Boise to come play, because Notre Dame plays hard, Boise plays hard, we play good, we don't go for the knees. And I just want to see a good game today. So
us as well.
It doesn't matter who wins, as long as we all have a good game and we get invited back.
I love that.
That's what it's all about.
That's a good fan right there. I appreciate it. Have the best time at the game there.
Nice to meet you.
I've never been tailgating before, so.
Tailgating is awesome.
And I've never been to a college game before, so even better.
Tailgating is the best part of the game.
Yes,
what a game to get started.
I know.
All right,
So thank you much.
have the best time.
Yes, absolutely. Have a good night.
Nice to meet
Thank
you.
you so
Hey,
much.
speaking of tailgating, I hear somebody might be doing something similar back at home.
I think so. I think Brenda's got something going back home in Boise. Brenda, what's going on?
Hey, let me just tell you, we are not missing out on the fun out here, because we are at the BSU watch party right now, and the fans are getting really excited. Doors opened about 30 minutes ago. You can already start to see the people rolling in. It is a little chilly, so we're seeing lots of blankets out here, lots of coats. But I want to introduce you here to a fan, Derek. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. But what are you most excited about for today?
Watching the game on the blue. Unfortunately, my dad and my brother are at the Notre Dame game, which little jealous. Would rather be there, but I'm here with my girlfriend watching on the blue. Better option.
No, it really is, because you're home, right?
Home.
Like, this is it.
I don't have to fly. I don't have to get on the airplane. I don't have to figure out how to get out of the stadium. I know I get my car right here. The parking was free. It's easy. And
easy peasy.
What a way to watch a football game.
No, it really is.
On the blue, too.
Hey, do you have a message for your team over at Notre Dame?
Yeah, Dad and Sam, I know you're at the Notre Dame game, but I'm cheering for Boise State. I know, Sam, you're cheering for your Irish, but go Boise State. Beat the Irish.
There you go. Well, thank you so much for talking to us. Hey, did I mention that it was a little chilly out here? It's warming up a little bit, but you can see over here, we're taking advantage of the blankets here on the blue. Who are we talking to today?
I'm John. And I'm Bob.
Okay, so you guys, I've seen you guys settle in a couple minutes ago, but what are you guys most looking forward to?
Well, my dad started bringing me to the games when I was 9, so I've had a lot of experience coming to the Blue and watching the team. We've been underdogs before, and I've seen us pull it off before, so I'm looking forward to a Bronco win.
Hey, for those people on the fence right now that maybe are like, should we make it out there? What would you say to them?
It's just nice to be out here. I haven't been to as many games, but I've been to a few, and it'll be nice to be at this one.
No, it really is. Hey, did I mention, thank you so much for talking to us. Did I mention this is the first time they do this watch party on the blue, which is really iconic for a game like this. But hey, we got a couple more fans to get through. Hey, hello, how's it going over here? Hey, do you guys have a message for the Broncos tonight?
Go Broncos!
Just win! Please,
win. Please win.
This is the first time that a watch party happens here on the Blue. What does it mean for you to be able to come out here and participate into something like this?
It's awesome. I've been part of the community for all my life. And
it's a cool experience. Yeah, that's cool.
It is. I see some games over there as well. Are you going to take advantage of that?
might later, yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me today. Hey, I mentioned the games. There's bags or cornhole, whatever you call it there. We have some other games that we're seeing further out in the field, but you still have time to come out here and enjoy this watch party. For now, though, we're going to toss it back to you.
Hang on one sec. All right, sorry, it's tough to hear. There's so many fans just coming in and out of here. That looks like a lot of fun.
It is cornhole, by the way.
It is cornhole. I was about to ask, do you call it bags or cornhole? Coming from Montana.
It's cornhole.
Okay, that's what I know it as. Yeah. Well, you know, there's a lot of tradition.
I'm going to challenge Brenda to some cornhole.
You should. Brenda's got a rocket.
One-on-one.
Yeah, I think she might put you to the test. Now, we did get to check out this historic Notre Dame stadium that's full of these confident Irish fans as they're filling into the
Everybody's
stadium.
piling in right now. They're just they see the Bronco sign and they're like, yeah, no thanks.
Yeah,
Irish by 40.
They're like, you're in the wrong town, you guys. I don't know if you know this. But we did get to check it out. Tell you what, pretty cool stadium. Here's a look.
It's one of the most storied venues in all of college football. A stadium that's been host to some of the most memorable moments in the game.
Back in this game.
From Rudy
Allen drops to throw. They're going to get him. They do back at the 14.
To Catholics versus convicts.
Notre Dame 31, Miami 30, and going for two. Incomplete. Notre Dame's biggest upset since they ended the Oklahoma streak.
To the game of the century.
National title on the line for Florida State. It's also there for Notre Dame. Knocked away. Notre Dame wins.
The history within these walls draws fans from all over the country. This week, those fans are draped in blue and orange.
We drove here, it took us 3 days to get here, and this was on our bucket list, so we said we're gonna make this game for sure.
Soon as it came out, literally the day it came out, we're like, we're going to that game.
It makes sense why.
Every inch of this stadium is etched in history, from touchdown Jesus to the 5 statues immortalizing Notre Dame icons.
Including legendary head coach Knute Rockne. He's revered as one of the greatest head coaches of all time. They call this the house that Rockne built because he was an architect of this very stadium. He was also a pioneer in what the Notre Dame Fighting Irish uniforms look like today. He won his final 19 games in a row before being inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1951. This stadium was built in 1930, and it may shock you how much it cost back then. The price to build it, $750,000, which today would equal about $20 million. That same year, 1930, the Irish hoisted the final national title of Rockne's career, winning their 29th game in a row.
Following Rockne's tenure, Frank Leahy, who won 4 national titles in the 40s, Ara Parseghian, who brought home titles in the 60s and 70s, Dan Devine, who brought home a title in 77, followed by another all-time great in Notre Dame history.
And how could you forget legendary Lou, who brought back the winning culture here at Notre Dame. Holtz brought a national championship back to Notre Dame in 1988, the last national championship that this program has won. He had a 23-game consecutive winning streak, back-to-back 12-game winning seasons, 9 consecutive straight bowl games before being inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2008. The banners tell the story of Notre Dame's past glory, but the Irish are looking to write a new chapter, searching for their first national championship in 37 years. Standing in their way this Saturday, the Boise State Broncos, looking to delay that dream and forge their own history.
I think Boise State has a history of surprising teams, bigger teams, and I hope tomorrow's going to be no different.
Love to win, but just be a close game. So the only thing I can say now is go Broncos.
Who knows? Saturday's matchup could be the latest installment of a showdown to remember here in South Bend.
And today's matchup is right here on NBC Channel 7. You just got to leave your TVs exactly where they are. And we've got the Bronco Game Day guide as well, breaking down everything you need to know. It is a surprisingly in-depth and informative manual. Maybe not surprisingly, but it goes deep.
I was going to say surprisingly, you're knocking our guy Carson right now.
He does such an in-depth job. It's just, I don't see that a lot. You don't see a lot of that. So I think kudos to Carson back there producing this show. He's killing it today.
Anything you need to know, you go to that Game Day guide, you text that number on your screen. We will provide that to you. In-depth knowledge. He always provides little stats, little fun tips and tricks to know. Got to check out the Game Day guide if you haven't checked it out.
Yeah, and it does bring us to the injury report. We did mention we put a text out to Boise State's athletic staff to see what the word is on Jaden Mickey. We do realize he is officially ruled out today, as well as, and this is a big one, tight end Matt Lauder and defensive tackle David Latu. Matt Lauder, one of Madsen's, well, I know we said he doesn't have a lot of favorite targets. He does like to hit his big tight end. He's open a lot. That's a big blow to this Broncos offense just before game time.
Always open.
Always open, as you say.
Tight ends are always open. That's going to be a tough one because especially when you're on the road in a big-time environment, the fifth biggest crowd that this program has ever played in front of, 80,000 people, including the Bronco fans, of course. But when you're on the road trying to get a big-time upset, an iconic upset, you want to rely on your safety blankets, your security blankets. The tight end is that position. That one actually shocked me because I didn't think that Lauder came out of last week's game with an injury.
No.
But that's going to be a big blow to this offense who needs to get going quickly.
He's taken a lot of hits throughout the season because Madsen finds him a lot, and so he has taken a little bit of wear and tear. It is disappointing we won't see him. But also David Latu, a critical part of that defensive line, and we talked all day about it, of they have to be able to force pressure against redshirt freshman quarterback C.J. Carr on Notre Dame. Otherwise, he's going to be able to pick him apart all day. So that's a big blow to the pressure game.
Got to have pressure up front. That was one of the keys to the game that we're going to be talking about here in just a little bit. Got to get pressure up front. I know everybody says he's only a redshirt freshman. He can't be that good, right? No, watch the tape. C.J. Carr is absolutely electric. The numbers are there. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the entire country. And if you don't get pressure, it doesn't matter how well your defense is on the back end, he will pick you apart, plain and simple.
And speaking of pressure on the other side of the ball, Boise State's offensive line is going to get a lot of that. They've been huge. They've been instrumental in Madsen and the running game being able to get going this season.
The offensive line is one of the biggest pieces. That is the engine, the glue of how this offense gets going is the big men up front. But more specifically, we got an offensive lineman who is one of the best in the entire country, and he's had a phenomenal start to this season.
In the game of football, the spotlight usually shines on the quarterbacks, the running backs, the wide receivers. But for Boise State, in the game of football, the spotlight usually shines on the quarterbacks, the running backs, the wide receivers. But for Boise State, one of the brightest stars lives in the trenches. Offensive lineman Cage Casey isn't just the anchor of the Broncos' front five. He's one of the very best linemen in all of college football. ESPN ranked him the 63rd best player in the nation before the season started. And Pro Football Focus has him graded as one of the top blockers in the country, not just at left tackle, but at any position. Casey's dominance shows up in every big Boise highlight reel, but his true value goes far beyond the numbers.
For Cage, it's not just about him playing well, him being an NFL draft pick 10 months from now. It's him helping the team, and that makes the entire team look up to him, respect him. Yes, because of a skill set that he has that he's worked to achieve, but he's an elite teammate. He loves his team. The amount of conversations that me and him have in my office about what he can do more, how he can lead better, how he can have an impact, it's because he loves his team, and he's playing at an elite level.
For Danielson, Casey is more than a left tackle. He's a leader, a tone setter, and the heartbeat of an offensive line that has helped Boise State stack back-to-back 500-yard games earlier this year for the first time since 2019. And for his teammates, Casey is the guy they look to in the fire, the guy who brings calm in the chaos, toughness in the trenches, and a standard that demands everyone's best from those around him.
You know, I've always thought like leading by example was enough, and I was always a more quiet guy, but I always wanted to be okay, I'm on top of everything. I want guys to see that I'm on top of everything. I want guys to see that I'm doing extra work. But at some point, you also have to lead with your voice, and that's something I've realized this year and have been trying to put myself out in more uncomfortable situations more and more. And it's been uncomfortable, like I said, you know, getting out of my comfort zones to do that. But it's also been really fun because, I mean, A, you get closer to the guys, and B, you can truly see that I'm getting more confidence with not only speaking in front of groups, but just like leading the guys out there on the field and everything that I do.
In South Bend, the stage gets even bigger. And while his name might not always show up in the headlines, Cage Casey's fingerprints are on every snap. Because when you protect the quarterback, when you open up holes for this rushing attack, and when you lead by example in the toughest job in football, that's when you prove that greatness in this sport really does start up front.
The Colonels and the Generals were together.
That's right. You just heard
say
it.
that because once I have a replay,
Front
on my
drive
friend
really
Boise.
starts up front. We got some big-time fans over here. But at the same time, if the Broncos offense is going to be big-time, Cage Casey got to protect Maddox Madsen on his blind side. It's going to be a big key to the game.
That way Madsen can find one of his best weapons. Thank you guys. Have the best time at the game.
Hey,
The
enjoy the
Colonel,
game.
the Generals, the Broncos, Irish fans walking in there. It's exciting.
We're getting distracted here, big time.
I know it. But Latrell Capels, that's what we were trying to get home.
So when we talked about the injury report with Matt Lauder out, there's a big guy that's going to have to step up. Go ahead.
It's got to be the senior. He's been in these big games before. He played in the Fiesta Bowl. Number 3, Latrell Capels.
There's a flag, free play. Madsen down the seam to Capels. Skates away from one. It's a touchdown for Latrell Capels.
2 touchdowns last week against App State. More than 80 yards receiving in back-to-back games. Latrell Capels has made a statement. The senior wideout wearing number 3 has become one of the most dangerous playmakers this offense has to offer. A trusted weapon for quarterback Maddox Madsen.
Madsen under center. Rolls out on 3rd and 1. Off his back foot. Completes the pass. Latrell Capels across the goal line for a touchdown.
He's grown even so much, not only in his play as a receiver and making people miss. I think he's tough to defend, tough to guard. But his mentality with how he practices, how he blocks for his teammates, how he encourages on the sideline. And I told him, like, I'll remember clear as day, even in Air Force, where I think it's a 1-score game and our defense needs to get a stop. The main guy that I heard on the sideline saying, let's go, D, let's get the ball back, Latrell Capels. Latrell Capels.
But Capels' rise to this point is bigger than stats. Heading into the 2023 season, he tore his Achilles, a devastating injury that could have derailed his career. But instead, he put in the work, came back last season, and hasn't looked back since.
And seeing him battle back from the Achilles injury, find a way to go through spring ball, have a great season last year, coming into his senior year, continue to pour into his own development, his teams. I mean, I can sit up here all day because he's earned me talking about. He's earned the accolades because he's not only an elite football player for us. I believe whatever Latrell Capels does after this, he plays in the NFL, he doesn't, he's going to be an elite human being in this life. And that is what makes me so proud.
Coach Danielson will tell you, Capels is as important off the field as he is on it. His leadership and toughness set the tone for the wide receiver room. And on the field, paired with Chris Marshall, he gives Boise State a 1-2 punch that's hard to defend.
My freshman year to now, man, I've grown so much. I look in the mirror sometimes and I'm just a completely different person, personality-wise and mood-wise. I mean, when I first got here, it was more so, I was kind of a standoffish guy, but these guys, they brought me in and they loved me up. So just being able to know that I have very trustworthy brothers to the left and right from me every day, I can't be more blessed, more happy.
Latrell Capels has proven he's more than just a comeback story. He's a leader, a playmaker, and a difference maker for Boise State. With his game at the highest level yet, the Broncos offense is reaping the rewards.
Bronco Roundup Keys to the Game is sponsored by your local Ford stores.
Well, it's time for our Broncos keys to the game, and we said it. It starts with pressure up front. These Broncos have got to pressure QB CJ Carr. The redshirt freshman, a very talented quarterback, despite really this is his first year playing. He's had a lot of experience against Texas A&M, Miami, and you think about it, they're 4 points away from being undefeated this season. The Broncos have got to get pressure up front. They've got to find a way to fill the void of David Latu and get some hits on CJ Carr.
It's going to be a big time key to the game if they want any chance at pulling an upset here at the iconic Notre Dame Stadium, the house that Rockne built. The keys to the game, number 2.
Keys to the game, number 2, they are going to have to win that battle in the trenches and win first down. That's going to be a huge component of this game here. You can't get behind the sticks on offense. You've got to set yourself up for second and manageable, third and short. Those 3rd and 12, 3rd and long situations are going to kill the Broncos' drives. They've got to be able to control their own destiny. No pre-snap penalties. Take what you can, and you've got to play a near perfect game to come into an environment like this at Notre Dame and walk out victorious.
Time of possession will be key. That's one of our keys to the game as well. But key to the game, number 3, you got to keep all eyes on number 4. That's Mr. Jeremiah Love. He's one of the best running backs in the entire country. If you don't keep your eyes on him or you don't gang tackle him, he will find the end zone very quickly. Last week against the Razorbacks, he caught 5 passes for 70 yards. He's also a fantastic wide receiver for quarterback CJ Carr. Like the other keys to the game, if you don't get the pressure, CJ Carr is going to have all day to find people like Jeremiah Love, who might be a Heisman candidate shortly.
Yeah, and you've seen what he can do when he's just running the ball. It's even scarier when that guy gets space and a head of steam. The Broncos can't lose him in coverage. And that brings us to the final key of the game. Jeremiah Love is going to have a hard time scoring if he can stay on the sideline. The Broncos have to dominate the time of possession. It's a stat a lot of people overlook in football, but when it comes to an upset game like this, keeping that offense off the field as long as possible is going to be critical for the Broncos to, one, wear down that Notre Dame defense and preserve their own as we get deep into the game.
Time of possession. That's what we were talking about. You talked about the key being big on 1st and 2nd down, getting those chunk plays, not being in 3rd and long. The rushing attack for these Broncos, whether it's Dylan Riley, whether it's Malik Sherrod, whether it's Sire Gaines, whether it's Breezy, might see Breezy today, all of them have to establish the run early and often, get those chunk plays on 1st and 2nd down, control the time of possession, and then you keep Notre Dame's offense off the field, you keep CJ Carr off the field, and next thing you know, Jeremiah Love can't touch the football.
Very quickly before we wrap up
here. Seems easy, right?
It seems easy enough, right? Just write all that down, Boise State. I'm sure they're listening right now. Well, I want to hear your score prediction for this one. We're 13 minutes from kickoff. What do you got?
I'll keep it short and simple. I don't think that the Broncos pull off the upset. 41-24. They do make it respectable. I do think they'll put up some points. I do think it'll be tight early, but the Broncos in the end do fall short at number 21 Notre Dame.
All right, well, I think if the Boise State Broncos, if they can play perfect, if they can control their own destiny and keep penalties to a minimum, I think they've got a shot, even if that means they're doing it without tight end Matt Lauder. I'll make it interesting. 44-41 Broncos.
Whoa,
I don't think it's going to be a defensive showdown.
Goal?
Wouldn't that be something?
Wow.
A game to remember. Hey, again, download the Broncos Game Day Guide. Carson Cloud puts it together every week. It's so informative. There's so much information about these matchups.
And don't forget, the game is also on Channel 7, NBC for this one. You don't want to miss it. Number 21 Notre Dame and Boise State trying to pull off an iconic upset in the house that Rockne built.
That's going to do it from us. Thanks so much for joining us here.
And don't forget, we got all the
Bend.
post-game coverage too. We're going to have sound from the coaches, highlights from the games. We have all the coverage coming to you after the game.
All right, that's going to do it from us from South Bend. Jordan Smith, Austin Parr, enjoy the game. We'll see you right after.
Go Broncos.
Continue with us and watch free now on the KTVB Plus app everywhere you stream.